Welcome to Breathe Together in my living room, where it is definitely 67 degrees and freezing cold. If you're following along with the Instagram challenge, we are on the yamas, and we did ahimsa, non-harming, followed by satya, and today we're on asteya. But I actually didn't talk about satya yesterday, and I wanted to briefly. So for me, I actually had a class, if you are a student at Breathe, where I taught a satya and this inner wisdom and guidance. And if we listen to it, that's our truth. Satya means truth really quickly. And I know that we're doing it to keep ourselves safe and healthy. So I'm definitely all for it. But it doesn't mean that I'm not experiencing emotions while we're going through this change. And this might be a temporary thing, or it might be our new normal. We might be moving into this new global shift where, we don't get to meet at big places anymore. Like concerts as we know it might change somehow. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. But it's interesting. So I sort of feel that the stages of grief, that you're going through, denial, and then acceptance, and then the actual grief, feeling that. And I think that's important. That's my satya. And you might be feeling similar, that there's this underlying current of pain. And it's hard. It's really hard. But at least, we're all in it together, right? You and I, both in our living rooms or in a bedroom in our house, just wanting to move, do some yoga, because that keeps us grounded, because that keeps us centered. And when we don't have this practice, then that's when our mind starts to run away with the what ifs, with the stories. And so that's why I just love, especially the word satya. It's one of my favorite yamas. So let's lay down on our mat, so we can start to feel that inner truth within. So laying on your mat, try to lay in like a shavasana pose. Make it a little bit bigger than usual. Maybe your hands and your feet find their way off your mat. And closing your eyes here, finding your breath. Noticing the quality of the inhale and the exhale. And whatever that is for you, whatever emotion you're feeling right now, allow yourself to feel it. It's real. Inhale, whatever that feeling is, and exhale it out through the mouth. Do that a few more times. Taking even deeper inhales, filling out the entire lungs as much as you can. How amazing it is that we have these lungs that can take a full breath and exhale it all out. It's something we can take for granted, right? Super easy, and this virus is showing us. Oh no, Judith says she lost me. Okay. And then drawing your feet down to the ground, soles of the feet hip distance apart. Allowing your arms to reach out into a goalpost or cactus arms, and allowing your knees to fall over to the left. If anybody else is available to comment, let me know if you're still receiving my feed or not. If someone could just say yes, I can still see you. If not, I can restop and start again. Inhale as the knees come up. Exhale over to your right. Thank you. Inhale, knees come up. Back to the left. Okay, Christy still sees me. And then move side to side here. Thank you, guys. I confirm some people can see me. And I'll make sure to post a non-interrupted feed for those who do get interrupted. I know the internet around the world is being worked really heavy right now. Just like our emotions, the internet's truth is it's going to be a little jagged, a little lagging, right? And if that happens, there are so many other breathe teachers, video content. Click on that. Give yourself some yoga still, okay? Take care of yourself for the next hour. Okay, we're starting slow here, starting to move the body. Maybe your knees move a little faster. Maybe you like the slow pace. Beautiful. Drawing your knees into your chest, giving yourself a hug, squeezing really tight here. And then exhale into your happy baby pose. And if you'd like, beginning to sway from side to side. And that right knee can touch down to the ground, gazing toward the right foot, and then switching to the left side. Notice if your tailbone begins to lift, and that's okay. But if you can, draw it down while moving and swaying. Straightening your legs up in the air, reaching your arms up towards the sky. And then exhale as your right leg left. Exhale left. If you want to make this a little bit harder, when you bring the feet back together again, lift the head and shoulders, fingertips reach towards the ceiling, and then exhale, the right leg goes down. So it's just hovering a few inches off the ground. You can even bend the left knee into the chest. And for me, I like to really squeeze that left knee in just to get a little tighter and then let go to feel that compression. And then switching sides, maybe cycling the legs or sending them back up, scissoring in the air. You can choose your own version of the pose. I'm going to squeeze that right knee in super tight. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Try to keep it connected and then let go. So I'm using a lot of hip strength and core strength. And then switching sides. Moving with your breath as you cycle the legs. I'm going to keep my fingertips pointing towards my feet here, but if you'd like to give yourself a little more of a challenge, reach your arms all the way up overhead so your biceps are in line with your ears. But I need to talk through this video, so I'm going to choose some versions that are not as cardio required. Otherwise, I'll be huffing and puffing with you, okay? All right, let's do a few more on each side. Get the knee a little bit closer to the chest. Lift the head and shoulders up a little higher, not towards the knees, but up, up, up. Yeah. One more on each side. And then exhale, release, taking a little break, finding your breath here. Okay. We're going to do a little bit more core work. So coming back into that bicycle position, if you didn't choose that, if you chose scissor this time, bend the right knee into the chest. And we're going to take our hands over across that right side. So if you're lucky, your arms are pushing in to the outer right thigh. And then inhale, arms up overhead. Exhale, over to left. Inhale as you switch. Exhale, reach. Inhale, it's like we're almost going fishing, right? Reaching back and then throwing the line out. So you can go as fast or as slow as you want. I'm going more of a medium pace. But if you really want to go for it, go ahead. And we're about halfway through here. Doing about 3 more or a mini more on each side. Whew, are you feeling the burn? Yeah. Getting our core nice and activated. I think it's 1 more on each side. If you're over it, you can always stop whenever you want. That's the great thing about practicing at home. You have no social pressure at all, right? And then exhale, release. Let's go back into your happy baby pose. Taking your breath deep into your belly. Softening any muscles around the area so you can deepen the breath. Take a deep inhale. Hold at the top. Exhale it all out. And then drawing your knees into your chest as you rock and roll yourself up and down the mat. Then we're going to come into tabletop position. Hands under shoulders, hips over knees. I need to vacuum my floor. Got little fluffy crumbs everywhere. Okay, let's do a few cat-cows here. Inhale, drop the belly, gazing forward. Exhale as you tuck the tailbone around the spine, pushing your hands into the mat. Inhale. Exhale. And so I'm going to give you a moment here to feel this pose out. Maybe you continue moving in this cat-cow way, or if you'd like, start to move the hips in big circles. Barrel roll the chest, however you need to move. So when we do these Vinyasa intermediate and advanced classes, it's not always about being in the final version of the pose. I find the transitions are where we're really doing the work, where the magic happens. So while we're moving here in our own way, feel the transition wherever you're heading. And maybe it's your inner way, your inner truth moving you. Maybe you're choosing where you go. Exhale to child's pose. Flipping your palms up to the sky and allowing your forehead to connect with your mat. Coming back up into tabletop position. Doing a little wrist crease work here. Bringing your fingertips so they're pointing towards your knees and then starting to lean yourself back. If you'd like to do some fascia in the back of your feet at the same time, tuck your toes as you lean your sit bones toward your heels. And so notice here, if you're starting to lift the heel of your hand off the ground, bring it back down. You might not be able to sit far back, but we really want to feel the lengthening of the inner forearm. And then come back up, tabletop position, wrist circles here. Shake, shake, shake. So since this is a Vinyasa level 2-3 class, I'm going to give you an opportunity to do that again. And if you want to add on a peacock pose into it, feel free. Okay, so that's going to be a little bit of how we're playing here. Bringing your hands back down so your fingertips are pointing behind you. And maybe you bring your hands in a little bit closer this time. And then start to shift. I'm trying to get myself so you can see me. Bringing your hands down, start to shift your weight forward, chest forward, and then eventually your elbows hook into your core, your low abs, and your belly button. And keep your legs wide here. Maybe your toes touch. If you want to straighten the legs, go ahead for one more breath. Whoa. Peacock pose. All right, wrist circles here. So you see, falling, that's normal. You will fall. Wrist circle, reverse direction. So you have to sort of get comfortable with letting go of that fear when we fall out of these poses. Because when we practice finding our edge, eventually we fall off the edge. And then eventually that edge moves a little further and further away until we don't fall. Okay? Coming back into your tabletop position. And then taking that right leg forward into your chest, right knee forward into your chest. And then if you can, bring your right leg into a figure 4 here. So you can stay in figure 4. Or if you can, bring that left heel up a little bit closer into half lotus. Coming into half lotus, bring your right hand in between the gap. Okay, and we're going to come into a little flying pigeon here. So my right hand is in between the gap. I'm going to hook my right foot around my left arm and start to lean my chest forward until the left leg lifts. Exhale over. So if that seems ridiculous, don't worry. We're going to try it on our other side. I'll guide you through time. So you choose. Maybe you stay here in figure 4 and you have a seat. Maybe you try to hook that left leg or left arm underneath and then bring your hands down like chaturanga arms. Hook the left foot over the right arm. Lean your chest forward, Squeeze the shin down until you lift the right leg up. Flying pigeon. One more breath. Exhale, slowly lower. Woo! Downward facing dog. Walking your dog out here. Bending the right knee, left heel drops down. And then switching sides. And for your downward dog right here, if you'd like to walk your legs closer together or further out, fill it out however you need. We'll be here about 5 more breaths. Letting go of that which does not serve you. One more inhale. Exhale as you bend your knees and then walk yourself to the front of the mat. Inhale, hands to shins, halfway lift. Exhale, softening the knees as you forward fold. Doing that 2 more times. Inhale, halfway. Exhale. One more. Inhale. Exhale, grabbing onto your elbows as you allow your head to hang heavy here. And taking as deep as a bend in the knee as you need. You might have a micro bend, you might have a mega bend. Just feeling it out. And if you're holding onto your elbows, pulling your elbows down to the ground a little bit more, creating more space. And then inhale, slowly rolling up, 1 vertebrae at a time. Sweeping your arms up, palms touch at the top. Exhale, release, arms to your side, Samasthiti, equal standing pose. Closing your eyes here as you feel the ground beneath you. Notice if you're leaning more to the left or to the right, forward, or backwards, and try to find the middle. Bringing your hands together, heart center, setting an intention for your practice today. And then inhale, sweeping your arms up, palms touch. Exhale, softening the knees as you forward fold. Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, hands come back down as you walk yourself into high plank. Holding high plank here. I just have to check the messages every once in a while to make sure everything's okay. Usually I'd be walking around the room checking our bodies. Instead, I'm checking the words. Inhale. Exhale as your knees come down to the ground. Chest shifts forward and down. Inhale, cobra pose. Exhale, lower. Walking your hands in a little bit closer towards the middle of your rib cage, and then inhale, lift. Exhale. Walking them even closer, maybe in line with the belly button as you inhale, lift. Maybe your arms straighten. Have a little micro bend in the elbows if you're feeling like you're hunching the shoulders forward so that you can find a spaciousness along the collarbone. Exhale. Finding your way back through child's pose or plank until eventually you come into your downward facing dog. Inhale, sending your right leg up high, and then moving that leg however you need. Maybe you keep your hips square, maybe you bend the knee or draw big circles with the knee, the hip, the ankle. Fill out your dog. Allow it to move. And then inhale as you lengthen that right leg, stacking the hips. Exhale, bring that right foot through, letting it land in between your hands. Inhale, warrior two. Gazing over the front fingertips. Exhale, reverse warrior. Keeping a deep bend in that front knee, taking one inhale, paying attention to your transition, seeing half moon pose, and now finding your way there. How slow with control can you move versus using momentum? Can you move like a dancer? Steady gaze wherever you are. Stacking the left hip over the right. Maybe taking the right hand to your heart. For 3, 2, 1. Now visualize warrior two. We're going back. Slow and steady. Beautiful. Inhale, straighten the front leg. Exhale, reaching forward, triangle pose, Trikonasana. See if you can create more distance between the right hand and the left. So notice if you're hunching into that right rib cage, lengthen more than curve. Find that length. You might have to come up a little bit off the leg. If you're this low and you see or feel that you're crunching here, lift up a little higher. And then inhale, coming back into your warrior two. Exhale as you windmill both hands down to the ground, taking that right leg back up to the sky. Exhale, lower the right foot back down, downward facing dog. Inhale as you shift your weight forward into high plank, lowering down on both knees, transferring your weight up. We're going to come into gate pose. So right leg will stay down on the ground, left leg reaches out long. Inhale, send your right arm up. Exhale, you lean over to the left. And if you're looking at a screen and it's always opposite, I think that it mirrors anyway, so it's confusing. Just go with my words. And if you end up switching around, just try to remember which part of your body you already did, right? And so you can stay here, or if you'd like to do a little back bend, take the left hand, or tuck that back foot. It's hard to do in a mirror. Tuck the back foot. Take your left hand, the one that's going down your leg, and reach for the heel. As you inhale, send the right arm up overhead, pushing the hips forward. One more breath. Beautiful. Exhale. Windmilling your arms back down to the ground, coming back to your gate pose. Right hand comes down, supported Vashisthasana, side plank. Push it down, and then lift the right knee up. So we're still having a bend in the knee, but we're reaching the knee up, 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 so it's floating off the sky or off your mat. I go for a little bit of a Vishvamitrasana here, taking the knee as much as you can to your arm, reaching your hand for the front of your foot, and then kicking that foot out as you try to reach your head in between the gap between your arm and your foot. Yeah, spiraling up. Oh my. Don't worry if this feels impossible. We're going to try it on the other side, right? Exhale. Taking your hand and foot back down to the ground, downward facing dog. Remember at any point, if you need a break, child's pose. All right, inhale, send your left leg up high. Find freedom with your dog. Where do you want it to go? What do you need? Maybe you do a little bit core ab work. Maybe you need more of a movement, mobility in the joints. What's your inner truth? What's your satya? Inhale as you lengthen the left leg. Exhale, left leg comes through in between your hands. Warrior two. Rooting your feet, having a strong foundation, and then building yourself up from there. Flipping the front palm, reverse warrior. And then finding your way into your half moon pose. See it in your mind's eye. Slowly float that right leg up as the left fingertips search for the ground, finding a steady gaze here. If you want to challenge yourself a little bit more, left hand comes to heart. Draw the rib cage down and in, keeping the core engaged. One more breath. And now you're going to see warrior two and find your way there by bending deep in the front knee as the right leg slowly comes back down. Inhale, straightening your front leg. Exhale, Trikonasana, triangle pose. And remember, instead of collapsing on that lower rib cage, create spaciousness, length. So we're trying to find more length between the hip bone and that outer armpit. And then the right arm reaches up. Pushing out through the pinky edge side of the right foot. 3 more breaths here. Relaxing the shoulders. Inhale, coming back up. Warrior two. Exhale, as you bring both hands down to the ground, kicking the left leg back up. And then downward facing dog, both legs come down to the ground. And we'll come into gate pose on the other side, knees lower. Hopefully I didn't forget a pose. If I did, I apologize. My mornings are a little crazy with 2 little children running around. Inhale as you send your arms up, right leg is reaching out long, left hip over left knee, and then find your way down. And this in itself is a beautiful pose. I love the stretch that it provides in my body. But if you want to add on to a back bend, tuck the left toes underneath the heel, and then take that right arm, reach it back for the heel as you push your hips forward. Where can you soften? Where are you holding on tension? And then exhale. The left hand comes down to the ground. The right arm sweeps up overhead. So this is a supported Vashisthasana, side plank. If you need to move that left knee, go ahead, because we know we're going to be lifting it soon. Root the right foot, pushing out, out, out energetically, and then maybe lift the left knee up. So we're sort of spiraling the knee up, 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 so it's closer in line with our rib cage. And then if you'd like, taking that knee over to the left arm, and then back again, and then up, and back again, and then doing one more, taking it there. If you want to go for the full Visvamitrasana, take the right hand over to the top of the foot once your knee touches, and then start lengthening, kicking your foot into your hand, and spiraling the rib cage up to the sky. Ooh, holy moly. Strong left hand, strong right foot. One more breath. Exhale. Coming back into your gate pose. Let's come into child's pose to give our wrists a little break. Wrist circles. And this time, bring your knees together. Child's pose. Arms down by your sides. Find your breath again. Downward facing dog. If you'd like to do a vinyasa here, go ahead. Like I said, I'm trying to conserve some of my energy so I can talk to you the whole time. But I'll assume right now you're lowering from your chaturanga into your upward dog. And now you're here with me in down dog. Beautiful. Inhale, send your right leg up high, stack the hips, bend the knee. Inhale, lengthening the right leg. Exhale, taking the right knee into the nose, holding here. Paying attention to the transition as you inhale, kick the right leg back out. Take your time, right knee to right elbow, maybe a little higher to your armpit. Yeah, inhale. Not rushing through it, letting each muscle guide you to your left arm as high as you can. Inhale, kick the left leg back up. Exhale, continue sending that foot over and out through the left side as you come into C-star, pushing both soles of the feet down to the ground. Hips lift, soften the front body. Beautiful. Exhale, left hand comes down to the ground. Inhale, kick that right leg up high one more time. Exhale, bring the foot through, let it land. Warrior two. As you inhale, rise. Exhale, reverse warrior. And taking another exhale as you come down into extended side angle pose here. Top arm reaching up overhead. Maybe you want to challenge yourself a little bit more. Heck, let's do it. Right arm draws parallel with the left. Maybe you want to stay here. Or maybe you're getting a little tired and you want to bring that right hand down to the ground for a deeper stretch in the hips. If you go here, push the right arm into the right leg. Maybe you stay here, or maybe you take the left arm up overhead, right arm underneath, going for the bind. Right fingertips can graze the left fingertips. Maybe you have a towel or a strap or a shirt that you need to use. Spiraling the rib cage up. Maybe you stay here, or maybe you visualize yourself going into half moon pose from here. Oh gosh. Rooting the right foot, see yourself. Transition slowly, keeping the bind if you can, as you slowly pick the left leg up. Oh man, steady gaze wherever you are. Playing with it. If it's your first time, it's normal to fall, remember? The first time you did any pose, you probably fell, and you're just so used to it. You don't fall anymore. I'll try that one more time, because why not? And then whenever you're done, find your way back the way you came, back into your warrior two. If you went for the bind, let go. Right hand comes back down to the ground. We're going to spiral the left heel, that back heel over the toes. Left hand comes down to the ground for awkward lunge. Take your left hand as close as you can to the sole of the right foot. So usually you might want to have it out a little far. Let's bring it in really close. And then take the right hand up to the sky. And really spiral the rib cage here. So the right rib cage is pulling back. And the left rib cage is pulling in. Twist forward a little bit. And then twist yourself. So both feet are about half of a length apart. Heels are down as we twist ourselves over to the right. So our legs are now looking like an X. Working on outer hips here. Soften your head, soften your neck. Oh man, the more you spiral this, the deeper you'll feel it. Beautiful. Exhale as you walk your hands to center, to the left of your mat, pivoting your feet into a wide angle position. Soles of the feet pointing towards the side of your mat. I want to say front of the room, but I'm like, I don't know where you are. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale as you bend the elbows, forward fold, Prasarita Padottanasana A. If you need to bend the knees, go ahead. If you want to lift the hips, you can do that too. Working on sending your head down to the ground. If it's touching, walk your feet in a little bit closer so the leg height is a little bit higher. 2 more breaths. And then inhale, coming up halfway. Walking your hands towards the front of our mat again, kicking the right leg up to the sky. Stack the hips, bend the knee, looking under that left armpit and finding your way into your 3-legged wheel. Letting that right foot drop down to the ground, and we'll be here for 5 breaths. Where can you soften? Exhale, right hand comes down to the ground, downward facing dog. Shift your weight forward into high plank. 1, inhale, exhale, chaturanga. Holding halfway for 3, 2, 1, exhale. Everything down, rest your arms down to a side and a cheek. Maybe windshield wiper the knees. Whew. Staying on your belly, slowing down your breath. Okay, we have another side to do. Finding your way. Oh, we're going to come into bow pose. You're on your belly. Trying to remember where you are. Bending your knees here. Reaching back for your feet. Inhale, lift. Bow pose, Dhanurasana. Kicking your feet into your hands. creating more space between each shoulder. Kick your knees up a little bit higher. Exhale, release. Arms down to your side. Rest your other cheek. Okay, we're going to come back into your bow pose. And I'm going to give you another option this time. Maybe you bring your knees out a little bit wider than usual. So if your knees are together, just give them a little more space. And then kick yourself back up into Dhanurasana. And once again, this is an option. Maybe you don't feel like doing it. Maybe your inner truth is like, no, thank you. You start to rock yourself backwards and forwards, working on getting yourself knees down to the ground. Kicking your feet in your hand. Oh gosh, I can't do it today. Close though. You want your knees down and your chest lifted, almost like that, but you're holding onto your feet, yeah? Maybe you got there. Awesome. Maybe you didn't and you're like me. Also awesome. Exhale. Whew, let it go. Windshield wiper, side to side. And you'll find your way back into your downward dog. Maybe you want to do a few push-ups in between, or maybe you shift your weight from child's pose into down dog. Inhale, sending that left leg up high as you stack the hips. Bend the knee. Send the knee up a little higher. And then exhale, take the knee to your nose as close as you can. Inhale, kick the leg out. Exhale to the left elbow. Maybe a little higher. Inhale. Exhale to the right. Can you get it up to your armpit? Inhale. Exhale. Bring that left foot through, letting both soles of the feet down on the ground as you open up into C-star. Right arm lifts. Push the hips forward for 3, 2, 1. Exhale. Right hand comes down. Kick the left leg back up to the sky. Exhale. Finding your way into your warrior 2. Other side. Exhale, reverse warrior. Take a deep inhale, expanding the side body. Exhale, extended side angle, elbow down to knee, top arm reaching up overhead. So if you want to do a little bit more ab work, take that left arm parallel with the right. The arms are right near the ears for 3, 2, and 1. And then maybe bringing that left hand down to the ground, especially if you want to go for the bind. Pushing the left elbow into the left knee. You can stay here with a hand on the ground or a block, or take the left hand underneath you, right hand above you, going for the bind. Maybe you stay here, or maybe you start to shift your weight forward into your half moon pose with the bind. Yeah, it's up to you. See it, visualize it, and then become it. If you're trying to lift that leg, kick it as though it's going through heavy mud. Steady gaze, strong left foot. One more breath. And then exhale, slowly find your way back into that bounded, wide warrior. Left hand comes down to the ground. Stack the left heel or the back heel over the right. Right heel over the right, yeah. Right hand comes in for that awkward twist. We're moving to the other way. Right hand by the sole of the foot. Left arm reaches up. Keep peeling that right rib cage up. The left rib cage is trying to hug into that knee. One more breath. Exhale. Hands come down to the ground. Step that right foot forward in so it's about 1 spinal length, preparing almost for pyramid pose, but we're not. We're going back into that steer pose. So we're taking our hands over to the left, moving in that X-like position. So we're feeling this a lot along the outer hips, maybe along the IT band, rib cage. We all feel it in different places, but And then walking yourself over to the right. Once again, wide-legged, preparing for Prasarita, Padottanasana. Let's do our arms behind our back. So interlacing our fingers and allowing our hands to move towards the ground. So you can stay here. Doing a nice deep shoulder stretch. Or if you'd like to go into headstand, go into headstand, bringing your hands down into tripod position and going there. Or maybe instead of headstand, you want to try forearm stand, bringing your arms down. Your elbows need to come. So you might need to bring your legs a little bit wider for your elbows to come down to the ground. And then hug your hands around your elbows so you know that you're about shoulder distance or one forearm length away. And then bring your hands back down to the ground. Shift your weight forward as you lift your feet off the ground into a wide-legged dolphin. My carpet is so fluffy. I'm not even going to do it, but maybe you can do it. I'll try headstand. We'll be here for about 5 breaths, wherever you go. Maybe you're still just doing a wide-legged forward fold. If you're in forearm stand or headstand, slowly bring your legs back out wide again. Keep energy through the feet. And then slowly hinge from the hips as you bring the feet down to the ground. Yes. Inhale, coming up halfway. Exhale. Try to keep your head in the same line as your heart right now. Taking a few breaths here. Okay, walking your feet in so they're not quite as far away. Reaching your left hand over for the right leg, and then forward fold. You can take your right hand up for a twist. Maybe the right hand comes to your sacrum, the low back area. Make sure it's square. Maybe you're flexible enough that you can reach your hands over and around to find that left top thigh. There's one option. You can stay here, or maybe you reach your head, you let go of that bind, you reach your head and your arms. Try to angle myself so you can see. So I'm holding on to my right leg with my left arm still. I'm going to reach my head and my arm through, and then I take my right hand to grab my right leg and go for a spiral here. For 3, 2, 1. Exhale, unwind, coming up halfway. Exhale, inhale, rise. Let's do a few shoulder rolls here in between sides because we've been upside down for a while before we try the other side. So I'm doing these weird poses that I don't always do in my classes. So you might have to watch me first because you know when you watch something, your mind creates new synapses, muscle memory. And so when you see it, you can believe it, and then maybe you can do it. So if I do something that you don't really understand, look at me a few times. It might be a practice or 10 practices, and then eventually maybe you'll go for it as well, okay? Inhale, sending your arms up. Exhale, coming down halfway. Hands come down to the ground. So we have lots of options here. Maybe you bend your knees slightly so you can take your right hand over to the left leg and then come into a forward fold, letting your head and neck soften. Maybe you twist, allowing your left hand to reach up and for your low back, that sacrum area, see if your hips are square. Let your head be heavy. Maybe you bring that hand, reach it for the right front thigh. Yeah, you can stay here. Or maybe you want it to go for that even deeper twist, releasing the left hand, allowing the hand and the head to go through the circle that you've made. Once you get your head and arm through, reach for that right leg. You might need to bend the knees to get there. That's okay. Bend the knees as much as you need to. And then slowly, once you find both legs, you straighten each leg, working on squaring the hips. I can't see what's going on up there, so I'm just hoping they're square. And then twisting. One more breath. Exhale, unwinding. Hands come down. Heel-toeing our feet close together. Inhale, chair pose. Excellent job, guys. Not easy. How much time do I have left? Okay, cool. So we're about to get down to the ground. We'll do one more pose. Inhale, sending your arms up, chair pose. Exhale, hands come together, heart center, twisting the left elbow over the right outer thigh. Holding here. Maybe you open your arms out wide. If you're lucky, your left fingertips touch the ground. Maybe you stay here or you want to play with side crow. We haven't done a crow yet. So to come into crow, drop your hips down to the ground. Left and right hand come down to the ground. Okay, I'm going to show you a little trick I just learned. I used to do the right elbow would go into my right hip and the left elbow would support my knee, right? So you've probably done this kind of side crow before. But let's try something a little bit different. so that left hip isn't sinking down on that right elbow, okay? So coming into that little side crow position, a little handstand to the ground, walk the left feet forward, 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 and then take the knee over, keep the hip high, and start to lean your weight into side crow. So this might feel really weird. Keep the chest high, exhale lower. Yeah? Maybe? Okay, let's try the other side. Come back into chair. Tadasana, stand up tall as though you're coming up out of water. Exhale, chair. Hands together, heart center. Twisting over to your left. Spiraling the rib cage over and open. And then exhale, arms open out wide. Maybe you go into the side crow that you know and love. Maybe you want to try this other one that's a little bit more challenging on the core. Walking your feet forward a few inches and around until eventually your feet lift. Keep your hips high. Core engaged for 3, 2, 1. Yes, exhale. Coming into a low squat. Boat pose. Finding your breath again. That's mostly for me. Taking your hands to the outside edges of your feet. Kicking your legs out into a wide straddle boat. Noticing if you're hunching in the spine, try to sit up a little straighter, sternum lifts. And then let go of that right foot. Reach the right hand forward. And so you're trying to reach for me. If you're facing me, reach. We're about to touch fingertips. Don't worry, we're 6 feet apart. Grab on, right foot. Okay, left foot, let go. Reach your hand forward. Let's reach, a little contraction in the core. And then grab on. Maybe you want to let go of both legs and reach. Together, breathe together for 3, 2, 1. Exhale, bring your feet together. Bound angle pose, inhale. Exhale. Hinging from the hips as you come down to the ground. You can keep your fingertips on the ground. Maybe your forearms come down to the ground. And over time, your elbows can widen and you bring your chest down. Forehead. Okay, inhale coming up, keeping the left leg where it is, taking your right leg, cradling it like a little baby. Ta-da, we're rocking our baby. It's time to go to sleep, little one. Can you love your leg? The part of you. Yes, hi leg. Thank you for being you, for letting me do these weird poses. Seeing if you can get that inside of your knee up above the right shoulder. Maybe you play here, or maybe you start to take that foot over to your ear and talk to it. I was telling my kids the other day that because they FaceTime, they can talk to their friends, see their faces. I'm like, back in the day, man, I had to go to the wall, and this wasn't even that long ago, cord phones. We had cordless when I got in high school. I'm like, you had to talk in the living room with your family, right? They could hear everything. And my little 7-year-old is like, wow, how would you plan a surprise birthday party if you're doing that, Mom? True. How would I plan a surprise birthday party? You got to think about the important things in life. All right. So maybe you're still moving your hip in that way. Maybe you want to come into compass pose. Make sure that right knee is right over the shoulder. Hug, squeeze it in, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Right hand drops down behind you. Take that left hand over the top edge of the foot, like Vishvamitrasana that we did with our side angle, and then kick that right leg up. You might need to reposition your right hand so the fingertips are facing out, and then spiral the rib cage towards the ceiling. Ooh, my goodness. One more breath. Exhale, release. I was asked to do some hip work. I listened to you guys. Here's some hip work. All right, other side. So we start by loving our leg. Let's see, I give you options. Maybe you're still on level 1 and you want to stay here and you're just learning how to love yourself. How hard it is to love ourselves. You stroke your leg. You talk to it. You say, you know what? We're about to do something really hard and you're not going to like it. So now we're going to start talking to our foot. making a little bit more mobility in that hip. So I'm hunching the back a little bit here so I can get the hip around. So it's not like I have a straight spine and I'm bringing that leg around. That doesn't give me as much mobility around my hip flexor. I have to move the low back to do that, okay? Then you take that left foot, or left knee, sorry, hug over the shoulder, hug, 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 squeeze. So maybe your work is here, just squeezing, letting go completely. You're working on that hamstring curl engagement. That's great. That is a lot of work, okay? Maybe you feel confident there and you want to go a little deeper. Take the left arm, reach the fingertips so they're pointing away from you. Lean into the left hand. Yep, so that right sit bone might lift a little. Right hand grabs the foot, and then you kick the foot up and away as you twist and gaze underneath the right arm. Now you can settle the sit bones if it lifted, rooting whatever's on the ground, lifting whatever's in the air. One more breath. Exhale. Ooh, yeah. Bring your feet together, maybe come into lotus legs, maybe sit crisscross applesauce, wrist circles.
56.
All right. Shake, shake, shake. Coming into a little seated meditation here. If you're in lotus legs, awesome. And if you're not, also awesome. Hands come out. We're going to bring them into a mudra where our index finger and our thumb are connected. The other three fingers extend long. Bring the tops of your hands to the outsides of your knees. Now find lift through the chest, setting the sternum up, and we're going to do a little bandha with a throat lock. So act as though you have a tennis ball or a grapefruit right inside that little center, and you're holding on. So we're not holding on super tight. It's just a gentle lock as you close your eyes. So what we've done here is create an energetic loop between our fingers, our arms, our heart, our legs. So with your eyes closed, take a moment to go inside and listen to that inner truth, noticing what you can relax, keeping that throat lock, Jalandhara bandha engaged. Ujjayi breath. And you'll be here about a minute, okay? Where can you soften? If you feel any blockages of energy in your body, move the body subtly so the energy can move, so the breath can move. Relax your face. Relax your heart. And feel. Slowly opening your eyes. If you're in lotus legs, stay here and go into a forward fold. Maybe reaching your right hand for your left toes and your left hand for your right toes. No worries if you can't find them. Maybe just grabbing onto opposite elbows back there as you hinge forward. If you aren't able to go into lotus legs, come into figure four. Left sole of the foot down, right foot crossed over. And then you can bring your hands down and hinge the hips forward as you gaze down to the ground. Okay, If you're in lotus legs, switch sides. So maybe your right leg was hooked over your left. Maybe you have to switch now. If you're in figure four, switch sides. Left foot over, right heel down, and then hug, softening the head and neck. Going as deep or as not deep as you need to. You can also do fire log if that feels a little bit more available and opening for you right now. Okay, exhale as we come down to our backs. Hugging our knees into our chest and taking big circles with our knees. They're moving away from each other and then back together again. Reverse direction. Allowing your breath to get a little slower, especially that exhale. Taking your knees into your chest, reaching your arms up overhead. We're going to go for a little bit of like a upside down forward fold here. Maybe shoulder stand if you'd rather do that. If you want to go into shoulder stand, keep your hands down by your sides. If you want to go into more of the upside down Paschimottanasana, then you're going to reach your legs long and start to rock your hips back and overhead. Okay? Shin bones into your head if it's there. And feeling your breath. If you're in shoulder stand, find your way down into plow. If you're in this reverse forward fold, bring your arms out wide. Flex the feet so the toes are touching into the wrist creases. And then maybe the toes can start moving up the forearm closer to your elbow. Trying to keep your belly and thighs connected. They might not be able to go very far. That's okay. We're trying to get it as far as possible. And then slowly one vertebrae on the low back comes down at a time. Use the mental mind. Allow your muscles to work more than gravity. If you're in plow pose, slowly find your way down to the ground. Muscles, feet, gravity. Bending your knees here. Arms go out to goalpost arms. Shifting the hips over slightly. Knees fall to the left as you gaze to the right. Feel free to keep your knees stacked on top of each other. If you want to feel this a little deeper, take the knees a little bit closer to the torso, or wrap the right leg over the left for eagle legs. Coming back up, flat on the back, knees point up to the sky. Pause and feel. Switching sides. Whatever you did on the one side, repeat here. Inhale as your knees come back up. Giving yourself one final hug of gratitude, of comfort. What do you need right now? What does your inner truth say that you're feeling? If you're feeling overwhelmed, maybe you need a break. If you're feeling stressed out, maybe you need a bath. Whatever it is, make a promise to yourself that you're going to give yourself that. And then release for your Shavasana. Coming into a little bit wider of a Shavasana, head, arms, legs reaching away from each other, all 5 points. Softening the back body into your mat. And coming back to your breath. Settling in. Bringing your gaze inside. That inner gaze. That inner truth. And if you'd like to stay in Shavasana, go ahead. Stay as long as you'd like. Exit out of this video. Otherwise, roll yourself to one side after taking a deep stretch. And slowly push yourself up to a comfortable seat. Bringing your palms together, heart center, eyes closed. And if you'd like, joining me in one Om, as awkward as that is right now. At least we're being awkward together. Exhaling everything out. Inhale. Hands come to forehead. Be light and shine. Hands come to heart. Be light and love. Namaste. Thank you all for joining me. My name is Leslie Germain. I teach at Breathe. Hopefully I see you again soon.